and comment below if you have any questions for Rashid, and we'll definitely make sure that those questions are answered for sure. So now, what are the key components addressing mindset
In
in your
light of current
coaching?
events, let's talk. Bitcoin believers treat near fatal volatility as mere flesh wounds. Drops of 80% or more is kind of like calculating buying opportunities. This is evidence of this asset class's longevity. The demand side continues to withstand the vast swings of volatility. Yet, what distinguishes the investor's maturity is how they respond to these crashes. Now, in most cases, in traditional stock market, when a vehicle designed purely around greater fool theory, it collapses and never returns. Yet, Bitcoin doesn't fit that mold. It keeps bouncing back. To ignore this is pretty much insanity, and it's you can't ignore the history. Since March 2013, there have been two cycles of spikes to record highs followed by drawdowns of more than 80%. Each of those cycles were preceded by a halving of the block reward. What is halving? Halving is when the mining reward of Bitcoin is cut in half, which correlates to the rate at which new Bitcoins are entered into circulation. So there's been about 3 halving events since 2009. Reward for the mining Bitcoin started at 50 Bitcoin for a mining block. Yeah. Then in 2012, it was 25 per mining block. Then in 2016, 12.5, and 2020 in May 2020, 6.25 per mining block. And because of the increase in difficulty rate, the amount of coins per block reward goes down, but subsequently the price goes up because of the scarcity of the asset. I think you get it, right? You get it? Okay. So the first cycle could be dismissed as maybe an anomaly, the experts say. But having again happened, and they think maybe a coincidence. But no. So in 2020, we saw the cycle repeating itself right before our eyes, and with the cryptocurrency coming within a whisker of its all-time high. Well, actually, it blew past its all-time high and went to 28K. Again, to ignore this is to dismiss the evidence of the history. Historical trends are key to future gains if you pay attention. To bet against Bitcoin recovering this time from this crash is to bet against history, and that is pure insanity. It is on its way to being the currency or the value or the reserve currency of value. Keep your eyes open. There's much more to come. Thank you. Hi there. Well, Bitcoin's uses in everyday life has always seen a challenge. I think the problem for some merchants is they don't know if it will perform as regular money or like credit cards. There's this thing called volatility, and the fees for conversion may be very high one day and very low the next. So that being said, very few use or accept it because very few understand its true value. And merchants have to get on board if we're going to make this mainstream. But 2020 saw a striking evolution in Bitcoin's adaptation and adoption. I saw this headline the other day that said crypto going public in 2021. So what does that mean? Well, one of the ways to leap onto Wall Street in the investment world is to take your company public with an IPO or initial public offering. This is to raise funds and expand your shareholder base. There's 3 massive crypto giants that have hinted at planning to launch an IPO in 2021. The owner of the XRP token, Ripple, they're one. They say it is a natural evolution for their company and other cryptocurrencies to go ahead and hit Wall Street with an IPO. The second, the leading crypto exchange, Coinbase Global Incorporated, they filed with the SEC on December 18th, and they're waiting for their review and approval. With an unofficial valuation of $70 billion, we can see why it is anticipated and causing a real stir in the markets. Coinbase is definitely one to watch. The third, a major investment conglomerate valued at over $1 trillion, is Digital Currency Group. They already have their own major investment players in the financial space and would do very well raising funds with the public offering. Definitely something to watch for. So Wall Street experts say, even though cryptocurrencies have been around for about 10 years, the current buying spree we see by investors is because they see Bitcoin as a hedge against the inflation that will inevitably come crashing down because of the coronavirus of 2020. So this is kind of what we're looking at for this term. So JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon used to call Bitcoin a fraud, but later he regretted that. Now his bank has reportedly accepted two Bitcoin exchanges, Coinbase and Gemini, as clients. An executive at Jefferies, a global financial services company, says the firm will reduce exposure to gold in favor of Bitcoin. As a result of this decision, 5% of the fund will now consist of Bitcoin. This is institutional money that's growing and growing and growing. Let's talk about Skybridge Capital. A global investment firm has launched a Bitcoin fund with $25 million. The founder of the company, Anthony Scaramucci, is bullish about Bitcoin. He affirmed that after doing the research, he came across some skeptics, yet says, "We believe Bitcoin is, and given the monetary supply and the global central banking coordination right now, this will be a very strong asset class over the next decade." He expects to see an aggressive uptick in institutional orders for Bitcoin for the first quarter 2021. Is it time to get in? Absolutely. MicroStrategy, another company that I really like. If you have $50,000 to invest in Bitcoin, this is the way to go. In December, MicroStrategy purchased 29,000 more Bitcoins for $650 million. The latest purchase brings the company's Bitcoin holdings to over 70,000, worth more than $1.6 billion. Man. And then there's Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. They say that digital currencies are the next wave of the digital revolution, emerging as what they believe is the greatest innovation since the internet. Note, in 2019, Grayscale accredited investors dropped $1 billion into crypto investments, mostly by Bitcoin, and over $500 million happened within the first 3 months of 2020. Some $500 million was deposited between January and April of this year. Grayscale's Ethereum Trust also has recorded first quarter deposits of $110 million. Their managing director declared institutional money has arrived into the Bitcoin and greater crypto markets. Wow. Well, let me just mention this one as well, because this is definitely worth understanding. Just saw this on Decrypto website. BlackRock, world's largest asset management company with $7.8 trillion assets under management, is looking to hire a VP of blockchain technology to be in charge of digital and crypto assets, specifically in valuation of those crypto assets. Their CIO is quoted as saying Bitcoin could replace gold and cryptocurrency is here to stay. So one more thing I would like to leave you with. In 2021, we'll likely see an extension of this mainstream embrace. Look for at least one major US or European bank to announce some kind of system where they're either enabling Bitcoin purchases or agree to hold digital assets for their clients. This is the wave. This is how mainstream is promoting Bitcoin. So, whatever Bitcoin may or may not have accomplished in its decade of existence, it has forced a lot of big global entities to think about offering an international digital currency. It's not easy, yet if a company can do it efficiently, it will be a game changer for the world. Now, the big four tech giants, Google, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, these giants will undoubtedly see the challenge and find a way to get in on the action by solving the problem that Facebook had with Libra, basically creating the perception of bypassing the banking system and having global support by key agencies in various countries that made the US lawmakers very nervous, and also the central banks. So obviously, it didn't work out like they thought. So they had to go back to the drawing table, right? So every company involved in the payment space understands not only that there is a market for digital payments still up for grabs, but that payments involved in different currency markets have the most potential. That's because currently such transactions can take days to resolve and often involve hefty fees. So we know with digital currency, it moves smoothly, quickly, and efficiently. Bitcoin has demonstrated, even in its early stage, that a global digital currency can dramatically streamline and improve this process. Reaching the billions that are unbanked or underbanked in the world is still the biggest challenge on the financial front. This year, both Facebook and Google, companies with a massive global reach, have seen intensely or been basically looking for their own way to create blockchain projects, from a global digital currency to an online banking system via the blockchain and their own native digital currency. Bitcoin may see some competition from these big tech companies. So here's what I would say. We should watch for new developments from Amazon, Facebook, Google, PayPal, and a lot of others. Everybody wants to get into this space. Who will win? Well, this is what I know. According to the Bank of International Settlements, there are about 80% of the world's central banks trying to create a digital currency. They're close, but nothing widespread as of yet. It's not that easy to get everybody to agree. According to BusinessInsider.com and Cointelegraph, they say that there are about 6 countries that have a robust digital currency platform in place. They're close to becoming cashless, but not that close. Sweden is the closest, and they're looking at about 2023 to become cashless. Many countries that are under the 6 central banks that want to create a stable coin to support or back the newly minted digital currency will run into additional problems when they start to try to implement them. So all the countries have to find a way to agree, and when someone or some country isn't happy about the terms of the deal, they need to have a formal way to work things out. How do you get 6 countries, 6 entities to agree on how to resolve an issue? Well, the one to watch is the CBDC, or Central Bank Digital Currency. They are diligently working towards developing a digital currency based on a stable coin in order to challenge or knock off Bitcoin. I don't think that's likely, but we definitely have to keep an eye out for what's coming. So let's stay tuned.